welcome to the Chamber Chats podcast, produced by the Hanover Area Chamber of Commerce to promote our chamber members and the meaningful impacts they're leaving on the community. My name's Ava Kidd, and I'm going to be hosting the show today. For this episode, we are joined by the Hanover Area YMCA to share a pretty big announcement regarding two major Hanover events in our area. So before we get into that, though, I do want to thank our sponsors. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Utz Brands. Whether or not you're local to Hanover, you probably have heard of Utz. The brand has deep roots in our area and a nationwide reach. Their commitment to quality in our community makes them the perfect partner for what we do here, where we have conversations about what makes our region special. We're grateful for their support in helping us share these stories. And a special thank you as well to community media. We could not do this without you. From the set to the audio and video recording, thank you so much for supplying this to us today. And so I'd like to introduce our special guests. In the hot seat, we have Mr. Jake Taylor, president of the Hanover Area Chamber of Commerce. Hello, Jake.
Hello, hello.
And we have Mary Wells, Association Director of Healthy Living at the Hanover Area YMCA. Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Are you guys nervous today?
It's the first Chamber Chats podcast. So
I mean, what do you expect?
So for a big announcement, I guess I'll just say it. We have already made promotional stuff out, so maybe you have seen it, but if you do not know, the Snacktown Fall Fest and the Snacktown Run Fest, two major Hanover events, are combining this year and relocating to the Long Arm Reservoir. So very big year. It's taken a lot of time and effort to coordinate this and get it ready. I mean, how far back have we been even considering this?
Yeah, I think last year we initially started having some conversations about it, but I think just based on when the conversation started and the abbreviated timeline that it left us, didn't quite leave enough time to get all the logistics in place. But we picked up this year. Oh my goodness. Beginning of the year, maybe before the beginning of the year.
Yeah, we picked up pretty quickly, I think, after the fall events last year and kind of made the commitment to move forward.
Yeah, it feels good to move forward with it. I'm really excited for this year. Before we talk about this year and the future, let's reflect on the past. Jake, I'm going to start with you. So Snacktown Fall Fest, when I started at the Chamber, it's always been Fall Fest, but prior to me being here, it was called the Brew Fest. So could you talk about Brew Fest and the transition to Fall Fest? Why was that decision made?
Yeah. So it was Snacktown Brew Fest before even I started at the Chamber. It had gone on for a couple of years, and it was a great beer and wine festival at Mouthfield. Great turnout, but I think as trends have changed, people are drinking less, especially people in our age brackets. We wanted to also reflect that, but also reflect that we want to run a family event. So while Fall Fest, when we made that transition, still had and will have this year a beer and wine component, there are also kids' activities, a lot of things for the entire family to do, which certainly opens it up to a lot more people to participate in, which was the goal all along.
Absolutely. So do you have any memories or favorite things about hosting at Mouthfield and a last hurrah, if you will, for reflecting on Fall Fest's Mouthfield presence?
Yeah, I think it was a great place to host. We had some great bands there this past year, a lot of great sponsors that helped to make it happen. And it's not a goodbye, it's a new beginning, and I think this new location and the new partnership is really going to help it grow. It's a place where I think, I know we're going to talk about the new location a little bit later, but it's a great, beautiful backdrop. It's going to be great in the fall season with the lake and the reservoir rather, and the leaves and everything. So really excited about the possibilities that are in store. But yeah, Mouthfield was fantastic for the time that we were there.
Absolutely. Mary, I'm going to turn over to you now. So tell me a little bit about the history of Run Fest and how it's grown over the years.
So this is our 12th year running. It started as a half marathon to benefit our Live Strong at the YMCA, our adult cancer survivor program. All the proceeds have always gone to that program. Over the years, we have grown. We've added a 5K, we've added a kids fun run, and this year we're adding a 10K. So in 2018, we had 178 runners. Last year we had 595. With our highest year being around 705. So, we're looking between 6 and 7, maybe more this year. So especially adding the 10K.
So how did this start? So you mentioned around like end of fall last year, the conversation had begun about, how about we combine these events and make something even greater? So how did that conversation even start? Who had the idea first? Did you guys just kind of like, hey?
I mean, weren't you looking to sort of redesign or get a new course? Was
I
sort
was
of the
looking
impetus for it?
to get a new route.
Yeah.
And our race was right before Fall Fest last year because I went to the Fall Fest, and it was kind of like both events need a lot of volunteers. They both require, require a lot from the community, and then they draw in a lot. And I guess that's when it was like, well, if we just did it together.
Yeah, and I think while there may have been some crossover, I think there is pretty separate audiences. So to bring them together for one day, first of all, benefits the sponsors because you're exposed to a larger audience, throughout the entire day, which is great. And then, like Mary mentioned, your volunteers. These events don't happen without a lot of volunteers. Both. I think I can speak for you guys as well. So to be able to have everybody come out for one day, share resources in that way, I think is really valuable as well.
And it really, it's going to be a natural fit. I'm super excited.
It will be. And the people that come out and run, like their whole family will come. And while we had an after party of sorts after the race, we did not have the vendors to the extent that you all had. We had a few of our sponsors, but it'll really be something that they can stay.
Yeah.
Something for them to do as they wait.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and just we didn't really get to touch on it too much, but I think everyone knows Runfest, but for those that may not have been to Fall Fest before, craft vendors, live music, there's a kids zone, lots of great family fun. We'll have, hopefully, knock on wood, kayaking this year.
Yes.
That should be a great added component. So again, to Mary's point, like having a built-in audience to start the day with, Runfest audience coming over to Fall Fest and then building on that throughout the day. I think it's really going to be fantastic.
Absolutely. From a marketing perspective, this was like the best thing ever for me because both events start with Snacktown. So both being in the Snacktown event series, it's like, okay, this is great. I could just boom, Fall Fest and Run Fest. So yeah, that makes Ava happy. And so how does this partnership strengthen the sense of community in Hanover? You kind of talked about how, adding on more things for people of different age groups and backgrounds to do. Kids can be in the kids zone, parents can, monitor the kids, or they could take turns going to the alcohol
tent. They monitor their kids.
Yeah.
We don't have volunteers for that.
Like maybe dad go gets a beer while mom watches the kids and they switch, How does the partnership strengthen the sense of community in Hanover and the Hanover populace, if you will?
I think seeing two organizations like the Chamber and the Y come together for one purpose, supporting each other and supporting the mission. Both of our missions, are similar. We're supporting healthy living. We're supporting, the community. It's supporting local businesses. So I think it's, it's nice, and I think the community sees. There's been a lot of positive feedback. I think that's a great idea, and
yeah. I don't think I could say it better. Yeah, just the Y is renowned in the community for all that you guys do, and the Chamber obviously has been around for over 100 years now, focused on our business community here. So having two real stalwarts of the community coming together for an event like this, under, like you said, the Snacktown brand, owning that, and I think it's a really great way to promote Hanover and the great businesses, the people.
I agree, and I think that the race leads itself to bring people from out of town to our community and learn more about our community and see what a wonderful community we have here.
Our good friends at Explore York love to hear that.
Yeah, and so that shows, and it'll be at a new location this year, featuring some of the beautiful scenery in Hanover.
Yeah, that time of year is going to be beautiful. So
I didn't even think about that with the running community. Like people travel to go to different.
They do.
Yeah,
they do. And we have some repeat, and we have So I think that's exciting because we've never had a Fall Fest after per se to be able to and that entices, I think, even more people because it makes a longer day. Like you're not coming to just run and leave.
Absolutely.
So why Long Arm Reservoir? Was there a particular reason why this location was chosen? I feel like it's the first of its kind to really use it as a event space.
Yeah, I think we obviously both maintain a very good relationship with our friends at Hanover Borough, and while the location itself is outside of the borough, it's owned by the Borough of Hanover, and just through some conversations with them, identified that they're trying to use it for different types of events. So we went out and looked at it, and I think both of us were really impressed with obviously the backdrop, but also the utility of the space. There's a lot across the street that we're going to be using for parking. There's an area that we're obviously going to have the stage set up in, so it lends itself really well to an outdoor event. Obviously, kayaking, and another added bonus, couldn't do that at Mountfield.
I feel like that's what you're looking forward to the most.
I'm a big outdoors guy, so
Yeah.
having that component there, I think will draw in some people.
Absolutely.
If you go and view the space as well, there's going to be a lot of room that we're going to have things like cornhole, other like activities that you can participate in while you're listening to the music or having a beer, or the kids are up playing in the kids zone. So just the way it's laid out, the location, and the borough just engaging us in those conversations, I think really led us to choose that as our new home.
Yeah, they've been very supportive of our event, and I think it couldn't be a prettier. If we
Absolutely.
were going to change our race course, that was and I know before we had talked about, if we kept our race and then we did it on the same day, maybe funnel people down to Mountfield, but it's really better to have them all at one location.
Once the other thing is, our Fall Fest we've always wanted to push it later into the fall, because it had previously been held in September, but we don't want to step on the toes of our friends at the Y with
Right.
whether it was volunteers or sponsors, etc. So in that way, it just made a lot of sense to come to one location, a new location, and kick this off in a fresh new way.
Absolutely. And this location in particular, I mean, I'm relatively new to the Hanover area, but when I first visited the water reservoir, I was like, so it's a little out of the way, but it follows a main road that goes directly into Hanover. It's really not off the beaten path. So to have something so beautiful and prime for an event, ready to go. Sure, when we went and checked it out, there were some little slopes and hills. I was like, oh, can we really put vendors there? But we are building a map. It's going to be great. And I really believe this is going to be a very effectively and efficiently done event.
Yeah. And I'll also just
yeah.
say a quick thank you as well to West Manheim Township.
Yes.
We greatly appreciate them talking with us about the event. We attended a couple of their meetings and just explained what we had in mind, and they've been very accommodating and happy to welcome us there, since the physical space does sit in the township. So really, really grateful for the partnership there as well.
Yeah, so I mean, we're excited to even get people outside. Not only that, but getting them in an area that maybe people aren't familiar with. So for future growth, what do you guys see for, this space in particular, the water reservoir? Do you see this opening the door for other events, or even like how Fall Fest and Run Fest expand? Like, do you have any ideas or maybe what you could see?
Yeah, I'll jump on this one unless you want to go ahead. I think it's a great, like I mentioned earlier, community asset. Definitely underutilized right now. So the potential is there to host any number of different events, different times of the year. Maybe someone comes up and decides they want to do a movie series out on the reservoir. I've thought about doing that as a chamber, so if someone wants to take that, I'll take the commission check off of that idea. But I think generally space lends itself really well to community and families, so can certainly see other organizations hosting events there. And for us, there's a whole, basically half of the reservoir that we're not using at this point. So we've got a lot of room that we can grow into as the events. For those that are just listening, I just knocked on wood there for us hopefully being able to expand it, in the years to come.
And I think that'll happen. With the first year, you're trying to figure everything out, and I think it's, going to be an amazing day and with lots of room for growth, both on the property and, just with the events.
Absolutely.
Yep. What has surprised you the most during this planning process? Was there anything you were concerned about or worried about that was maybe easier than expected? Or how about the opposite of that?
I think things went very smooth.
That's what I was going to say.
Pleasantly surprised. I think with events like this, you can always run into hurdles, whether they're logistical or folks not wanting necessarily to work together, having different visions for what you're trying to accomplish, that kind of thing. Knock on wood again. None of that has happened to date. The borough has been very accommodating. Like I mentioned earlier, West Manheim Township has been very accommodating. Obviously, our friends at the Y, we've worked really well together. I had a number of meetings just talking things out and making sure that everyone's on the same page. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm a pessimist at heart, but I was a little surprised by just how well everything
I was too.
gone.
I expected, which Jake probably realizes, I expected at first we have to meet all the time. I was like, we're going to have to meet every other week and we're going to need, but once we got the few regular things that we needed to get worked out, it's just kind of like we each know what needs to happen for it. I'm sure as it gets closer, there will be, little details that we'll need to meet about, but it's
and it's good to have such a reliable partner too.
Right.
I know that when we're dividing up responsibilities, things that need to get done in order to move forward, I know that they're going to hold up their end, and I think vice versa.
Right, and that makes a big difference. Yeah,
right?
And that's hard. I think when you've come from doing an event for so many years and you know how it's run, and you're jumping out into a different, but I think we both want the same outcome. So
absolutely.
Could you talk a little bit about how the race course evolved and how you guys?
Question.
Yeah.
You don't want to take that one?
Nope. This is all you. Go ahead.
So the race course, years ago when it started, we had it certified, meaning that it could qualify you. I'm not sure what a half marathon qualifies you for, but it could. And so we had somebody come out, and so it's been the same every year. Some people like that. Some people, didn't like the rail trail part. And we've been toying with the idea for a few years now. I mean, 12 years of running the same course, people get a little tired of changing it. So I think this is going to be really exciting. It's a challenging course. This one this year.
Talk about it. We drove it. It's
a bit hilly.
It's a lot of hills.
Yeah, it's hard to
make sure you're working the quads and glutes.
Yes, it's a challenging course, but it'll also be very pretty.
Absolutely.
And I think it'll be like with our friends at West Manheim that have helped us with some of the roads, and we have Flagger Force that will be on that day, and some of those roads are a little less traveled. So I'm excited for the new course, and I think our regular runners are excited. Our lead biker, when he saw it on Facebook, he kept texting me. He was so excited.
Great.
So so I think it'll be a good change, and after 12 years, I think it's a needed change.
So the roads will still be accessible. No one has to worry about, oh my gosh, I can't leave anywhere.
The roads will be accessible. Old Westminster Road will be down to one lane. Flaggers will be stopping cars on all the roads when runners are coming through. And we will put postcards in everyone's doors prior to the events with the map on it. So everyone on that race route will know.
Which maybe, I know we've talked about this, the roads are only going to be down to one lane for a very short amount of time.
It's not long, yeah. It's at the end of the course, so the course closes at 11:30. Probably till somebody gets to that part of the course. It starts at 8. It could be 9:30. So
it's a pretty brief window
where it's just one, and the one lane will be traffic going. It'll be a little bit slower. Yeah. But all the roads will have flaggers that will stop and go cars. But it's just 8 to 11:30, and then everything's open again.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure we discussed that in case there were worried people. And I need to get to this place.
And it's hard to say. Sometimes the runners will finish by 11, and they're all, we are able to account for when the last runner comes in. So as soon as that last runner's in, the flaggers are cleaning up and so coming back.
Can we talk about maybe the start and finish line? So the experience of the event attendee. There's going to be people lined up at the start of the race. There's going to be people that are, spectating, that are there for also Fall Fest. Could we maybe talk about the experience? What could people expect in terms of, like...
The best event that there's ever been in the history
yes.
of the world.
That's right. I think from what we've discussed in the past, the start and finish line are going to be at the same spot. They're going to be right along that Grand Valley Road, more towards the right, whereas all the vendors and beer people,
sponsors,
everybody will
kids
be more
zone.
towards the left.
Yep.
So my plan would be to line the runners up to the right, kind of keep them down that way.
Yeah, and just to maybe back up for a step if we could. So, upon arrival, there's two ways that we'll be offering people to get to the reservoir itself. So they'll either be able to park and take a shuttle from the South Y, or as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, there is going to be a parking lot with limited spots across the street directly from the reservoir. So we'll have volunteers there helping people to park, as well as escorting them across the street, making sure everyone's safe. So there'll be two ways to get there, and then once there, you can either, as Mary mentioned, elect to go sort of straight, if you will, from where you either get dropped off or walk across the street, go straight into the proper Fall Fest, or if you're a runner, you would go to the right-hand side and walk down towards the start line, which you're going to have a big arch.
We're going to have a big arch, yes.
It'll be clearly
clearly marked.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll have two buses running from the South Y. So South Y will be closed, so that entire parking lot will be open. And I expect that like one bus will pick up while the other one's
Dropping off,
kind of to keep it going.
Keep people moving throughout the day.
And the people that finish the race, they get a free drink?
They get a free beer, yes, in the beer garden.
And shout out to our beer sponsor this year, Aldous Brewing Company. We appreciate our friends there sponsoring the beer this year.
So, and they've agreed they will supply, just as we have in the past, we'll give the runners a ticket and they'll get their beer, just as always.
It's a motivation.
Yes, the motivation for sure.
Is this event beginner friendly? So the course is a little, it could be challenging, but there are different.
The course can be challenging, but if you train for a 13.1, 10K, 5K, you're going to be fine. If you can walk it, you can run it, you can walk and run it, whatever. Just get to the finish line. Just keep moving. But yes, I think the views will take your mind off the hills.
Absolutely.
Yes. Aside from the beautiful view, of course, is there anything in particular that either of you are looking forward to for the event? Like, do you have a favorite part or something that maybe you're like, oh my gosh, once this happens, it's going to be the best thing?
Well, I'm excited to see it all together, because for us, at the start line, it's just been the runners. Anybody that was set up like the beer or anything like that was down on our field. So everybody will kind of be together. I'm excited for that. And I am excited, the awards. Jake said we could use the fancy stage.
Yeah, so we'll have the stage there for our band. So in addition to that, the community aspect, fantastic, completely agree. I think the bands that we've managed, we're not quite ready to announce yet, but coming soon.
Oh.
We have some really quality bands that'll be there. So we're very excited for that. Kayaking, like I mentioned already. Sorry, excited for that. And just seeing like everything laid out like this in the fall season, and hopefully some good weather. I think it'll be a really, really special day.
What types of vendors can people expect? So we've touched upon the concept of there's going to be some alcohol, there's going to be a beer garden there, there's going to be a kids zone, but for the in between, aside from those two age restricted extremes, what else will there be?
Yeah, so we'll obviously have sponsors there. So some of the great sponsors we've already got lined up: J.A. Myers, Wellspan Health, Utz, of course, Campbell's. So they'll all have booths there. So free snacks. Can't be a snack town event without some snacks.
Right.
So they can always expect that. Fall Fest. So we're going to have fall themed vendors there as well. So crafts, art, the whole 9 yards. And then I know that you're going to have a couple of folks there as well, I
We'll
believe.
have some of our sponsors too, which I'm sure will overlap, in this, but, we will have some sponsors there as well. So usually they give out free things or things like that. Sometimes we have some running vendors there as well.
So it'll be a nice mix of sponsors, obviously the alcohol, the kids zone, but then lots of craft vendors in the fall season. So scarecrows and all that kind of, all that fun stuff.
Could we, circling back to the sponsors, so we could not pull this off without the support of our sponsors, without the volunteers showing up. I guess, is there anything that you guys want to touch upon to, stress like how much that sorry.
No, I love plugging sponsors, and rightfully so, because they are really invested, I think, in the community. So just having their support year after year, we have to be able to make a profit off of these things, and they continue to show up time and time again to support us. And I know that's the same for the Y as well.
Very thankful for the sponsors that come, and that's how we, when you join our Live Strong at the YMCA program, you get a free 12-week program, and that's how we're able to do that, is through this race. And then our Parkinson's program, which is new, this race also funds that program as well.
Yeah, so.
Without the sponsors,
this doesn't happen. So we're really, really grateful for them. And
because it is more
and
than
the volunteers.
Just event.
It takes a village.
Sure
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's more than just event. Like, it's a whole community experience. It's something people remember.
It is.
One of the many things that make Hanover interesting is our exclusive events.
Absolutely.
How can local businesses get involved, whether it's, as a vendor, as a sponsor?
Contact either Jake or myself.
We'll be, for vendors specifically, going to be opening up applications. So at the time of recording, it's towards the end of May here, so probably beginning to middle of June. So there'll be check the Fall Fest website for updates and how to apply. Chamber social media accounts, the Y social media accounts. I'm sure we'll have information about. They already have information about signing up to run, but also a link back to give you becoming a vendor or a sponsor.
And we have it on the YMCA website as well.
What does the community response look like so far after, we put the promotion out? People are aware of this. So, good reviews, people.
I feel like it's been positive. I've seen a few comments. I know I saw a few on LinkedIn that someone was like, it's about time somebody, is doing this. And I think it's positive all in all, because it brings me, you can come and run and do the Fall Fest, or you can come and not run and do the fall. Like, it's just kind of, there's just going to be, I think, a high energy event.
Yeah, I think there's always a little trepidation about change, but I think overwhelmingly the responses have been very positive. I think mostly because it makes sense to do something like this.
I agree. And the new location, there have not been any, that I know of any. It's just such a pretty area, and I'm not sure there have been any events out there to really showcase the beauty.
Yeah, it's like I mentioned earlier, it's an asset to the community. It's a draw for people to come into this area, and hopefully when they do that, they'll get to meet some of the amazing sponsors, the craft vendors, the small businesses, and the people that make Hanover such a great place. So,
how do you think this is going to affect Hanover as a whole? Obviously it's a positive thing. We're hosting this big event and we're getting people out, whether they're from Hanover or not. Is there anything that you think, in terms of, from a tourism perspective even,
Yeah, I think that lends itself well to the race with the overnight stays, but as Fall Fest continues to grow in size and scope, I think there's certainly an opportunity to expand its reach to different states, to different parts of Pennsylvania, and hopefully we'll continue to bring in better and better bands each and every year. Those are a huge draw as well. So
Absolutely. I mean, like, and when you finish a race, I mean, there's nothing like you stand there, you get a beer, and there's a great band playing. I mean,
why would you not hang out?
yeah, what more do you want?
Exactly. And so when does the event end? People can stay until what certain point?
Until 2:00.
Okay, so
it's college football season, so
That's
we want to
right.
give people the opportunity to go watch Penn State, or if you like the
That's
other,
right,
if you like
we
the other
are.
team and out west, you can like them too. But yeah,
dang, but the event's going to be so fun. I wish we could just stay later and
well, there are plenty of other places in Hanover that would love to have you. So plenty
And
of
that may
breweries,
happen, like,
restaurants.
People may come
For
in
our
and
local
maybe go
businesses.
watch the game in a brewery.
Go downtown. We've got a bustling restaurant and bar scene downtown, so there's plenty of places to watch or to hang out or make some new friends.
unfortunately for us, event teardown, we will not have to tear down the event in the dark. Unfortunately, last
Right.
year it went
Yeah.
a little bit late.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's that time change in
Yeah.
the fall really
Yeah.
really does it to you. So yeah, it'll be nice to be able to tear down with some light outside this year.
Absolutely.
Well, we're starting earlier too.
Yes, we
so.
are. Yeah, we
Yeah.
started. Or I think it was either 12 or 1 o'clock. I think it was 1
was
o'clock.
1, yeah.
Fall Fest previously started at 1, but the race will start right at 8 o'clock. It's
Yeah.
the same time as Fall Fest at 8 o'clock. So we'll have a good 6 or so hours to
Yeah.
be able to hang out and do our thing.
6 hours of fun.
That's right.
Okay, some rapid fire, fun, silly questions. Favorite fall activity?
Ooh, split between college football and golf.
No kayaking.
Well, if I just had to pick one or two, kayaking is being outdoors generally probably number 3.
I would say hiking and college football.
Pumpkin spice, yes or no?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Respect. Favorite fall snack? We are in Snack Town after all.
Yeah, like that's not good for sponsors. I can't list a favorite. I'll just say any
Yeah.
Hanover snack food.
Brandless.
Yeah.
Yes, pretzels in general.
They're all good.
Is that a safe answer?
I think so.
Yeah, all right,
Yes.
cool.
Yeah. Unbiased.
Apple cider,
Yeah.
that's
I
a
had
good
apples.
fall.
Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're so close to apple country. This is like
Absolutely.
go-to running song or speed walking song, if you will.
That's a tough one. I mean, I'm probably not the best music person, but I would say upbeat, motivating.
I'll turn on my OK Boomer playlist on Spotify and just play anything from the 70s or 80s that, on the off chance that you do find me running, which is pretty limited chance that happens. But maybe for hiking, I'll have either that playlist or a podcast on.
I like anything I know the words to.
Yes. So you just finished your run / speed walk / hike, and you need a reward now, a motivator. Would you prefer a medal or would you prefer a drink?
It's really a tough call, but I was saying the medal because then I can remember it and take it home.
True.
I mean, truthfully, I'd like both.
Yeah, I'll take the beer with friends afterwards, 100%.
It's the memories we made along the way.
Right.
Yeah, well said.
Do you have a favorite thing in particular about Hanover in the fall, or even just York County?
I love coming into town, like through Cadorus State Park, and just driving past the lake and seeing the color on the trees. It's a little bit cooler, crisper weather. Like just that sort of picture in my head is something to look forward to
I agree, and I
every
think
fall.
this venue will lend itself very
Towards
similar to that.
Absolutely.
If you could only describe this Fall Fest / Run Fest event in 3 words or less, what words would you pick?
3
Power words.
3 words or less.
Community
Yeah.
is one.
Fun,
Fun. Yeah, I was going to say energizing.
entertaining, something,
Yeah.
one of those
Yeah.
adjectives. And fresh, maybe.
Yeah.
It's fresh.
Fresh.
It's a fresh take onto events that have been around for a
Exactly.
while.
Trendy. Maybe we're
Tre-
being a little
Ooh,
trendy.
I like trendy.
Yeah.
Trendy is good.
We're being a little trendy.
Fall is the season of change, after all, and
True.
new beginnings.
Exactly.
Yes.
New all, and this is right along with that.
Is there anything else, anything we didn't touch upon, any final messages you'd like to share with the community?
Come out October 3rd, 8 a.m.
to 2 p.m. Long Arm Reservoir.
We'll be there.
It's going to be.
We'll all be there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to
Say
be
hi to
there.
us, shake our hands. We'll be wearing bright yellow vests, so hard to miss.
I think just generally, though, we've thanked the sponsors, thanked the volunteers, but also to the community. Just we're very grateful
Yes.
that you've continued to support both of these events year after year. It's why we do it, is for the community. We care. We want this community to have lots of great things to do, and also venues and opportunities to highlight the great things that make Hanover special. So we appreciate the community's support year after year.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. Well said.
Well, thank you both for coming on, sitting in the hot seat. No pressure. Oh my
The lights
gosh.
are bright here, on the first ever Chamber Chats podcast. Shout out to
Thank you
community
for
media.
having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And so final thank yous I'd like to give out. Thanks again to our presenting sponsor, Utz Brands, and studio sponsor, Community Media, for helping us make this possible today. We genuinely could have not done this without you, so thank you very much. Be sure to subscribe, share, follow the Hanover Chamber, and stay in the loop with Snacktown Fall Fest as well. We have a Facebook page. It's just Snacktown Fall Fest, and at Snacktown Fall Fest on Instagram. Website is snacktownfallfest.com. Pretty simple. And make sure you stay in the know with the Hanover YMCA as well. Their Snacktown Race Series is on Facebook, so their updates will be on there. Thanks again for watching Chamber Chats, and be sure to come out to Snacktown Fall Fest and Snacktown Run Fest at Long Arm Reservoir on October 3rd. Thanks so much.